Hi everyone. So welcome back to the lecture number 10, where we are developing a web application or a web server. And just a recall, we have studied so far that there are four different types of the HTTP request. They are total six, but we are talking about only four. The first one is a GET request to read informations out of the server or the web server or data source. And then we have a post to add a new data in the data source through the web server or the web application. And then we have a put to update the information in the server, and then delete. So we have get, post, put, and put delete request, HTTP request, and we are using the Express to implement that web application or the web server. To so the first thing that will help us to identify or the application, the what you can say that first thing or first important thing is the type of the request that we want to implement, that is get, put, post, or delete. And the second very the parameter or the second the information which is required to identify the HTTP request is the URL on which this request has been sent by the client. Okay. And for the implementation purposes inside the server, what we need a method when this get request on this URL comes in, how the server is going to respond or process that request. So we need a method that actually executed when this request comes in. And in this method, we have two parameters. The first one is the request, and the second one is the response. So this request is actually representing the HTTP request object, and then response is representing the HTTP response object. Request, if any information is sent by the client to the server, that will be contained inside that request object. And then anything that you want to send back, or the processing or giving back the response to from server to the client, then we can use the response object to send back those information. So this is what we have studied so far. We install the Express. We also install the node utility as a development dependency, and that help us to restart our application again and again whenever we are making some changes inside our code. So far we have sent back a simple string. We also have sent back some HTML. We also have sent back a variable, Boolean type or integer type. We also have sent back an array, or we also have sent back to from server to the client JSON information. Okay, so all these okay, but what is the actual real database or real web servers are doing? You send them a request and they send you back some data. That data can be of from different sources. It can come from a relational database management system like MySQL, Oracle, Grace, Postgres, or it can come from a cloud. It can come from a files, a Word file, a text file, or Excel file, or XML file where you have saved the data, or it could be a stream, live data, something. So we have different type of these sources which our web server can access and send back the data back to the client who has requested that data. Okay, so first of all, we need to create a source for our web server where it can read the data. So because we have already studied the database management system course IS 241, so you understand about the database concept, you understand about the Oracle. So here we will be using the MySQL as a data source, as a relational database management system, which will uh, provide us the data. So we can go into that. For that purposes, we use actually the XAMPP, which is a software which you can download from this link. And then once you have downloaded, when you start application, if you want some recall, look at the lecture number 2, in which week 1 lecture number 2, where we I have explained how you can install it and how what you need to do. Okay, so I will just give the link here. You can download, you can install in your own PCs if you wanted to. Then what the when you run that XAMPP software, actually it will give you a control panel where you need to start two different services. Number one is the Apache, and second one is the MySQL. So when you click on the start buttons against these services, it will turn into the green. It means they are running, and then they are also telling me which port they are running on right now. And then we can click on the admin button for MySQL. When you click on that, it will come to that specific admin panel. And then here you can click on the database. And then we need to add a new database, because these databases, which are already there inside the MySQL installation, they are used for the MySQL. Of course, we can use them, but let me, to make it simple, we are going to create our own database. And then when you click on that database, actually this area, the main display area, that will be converted into this. And then where you need to provide the database name here. So once you provide the database name, for example, Node.js DB, and then you click on the create button. When you click on the create button, actually it will create that database inside our MySQL server. Okay. So once you have created that, then the next thing that what you need to do is we need to import some SQL file that will help us to create the that database table. We will be handling the students record here, and that is what we are going to do. So, but before that, if you want to refresh your knowledge specifically for the relation database management systems, and to update your to learn a little bit more about the MySQL, how you are going to write the queries, how you are going to, because there's a slight differences in the Oracle and the MySQL, but mainly or mostly more than 90% or 95%, I would say that they are same, but there are slight differences. So you can refresh your knowledge, and then you can do that tutorial on your own, and then it will help you to understand how you can write the SQL queries inside the MySQL. For as far as in this one, we have only seen that we inside the browser, we can type in the address bar, you can type a specific URL, and when you press enter, it will send a get request to our server. But we cannot send the through this process, or through this method, we cannot send the post request or put request or delete request to our server. To For that purposes, we are going to download that Postman application. So the link is given. You can download that specific what you can say, that specific application. And once you have downloaded and install it, then it will ask you to create account. You can sign up for free. I mean, you need to create that account. You can use your Google sign up, so it will help you, or you can give the username and password. So but it is a free, so you can create that account. Once you have created account, and you have logged into that application, it will show you some space like that. I think that recently they have updated, and then it is a little bit different interface, but yes, more or less the same. So then what you need to do is you need to create it, click on the plus button, and then from the drop down menu, select a blank collection. Then when you create the collection of the, actually it is a collection of the HTTP request that is belong to that specific project. Okay, so it combine or the group all the HTTP requests into one place. And then you can give the name of that collection that you want to create. Once it has been created, then you can say add a new request. When you add a new request, actually it will create that HTTP, it will start the process of creating that HTTP request. First of all, we need to give the name, this one here. This is the first thing that we need to do. We need to write an appropriate name. For example, get dash root, we are getting the root value, root information. We are trying to access the root URL. And then the second thing that you need to specify that which specific type of that request is. It's a get request, post request. It's a drop down menu, and then you can select. And the third last one is the, for example, here I say it is a get request on this specific URL. So it will go to the root, and then you can click on the plus button. So when you click on the send button, it will send that request to the server, and then it will send you back the response. And then it is either it will show you the HTML or simple text file, or you can preview that information. So whatever you want. So either say you want to see the HTML response, or you want to see a preview of that one. Okay. So in this way, you can we can also say array. So it will send you back the array. We can also say JSON, so we can see those information. Something else, when you send it, it will say that uh, uh, then it is an error. It means that it cannot access. We don't have any request which has been implemented on this specific URL. Okay, so these are some, like Postman will be used to integrate or to test our web server while sending different type of requests on a different type of URLs on that to the server. So let's start developing that web, what you can say that the student management system, which help us to insert new record, read the records from the students table that we are going to import or create inside that database, or add a new record, update an existing record, or delete a new record. So we will process all those things. For that purposes, what we need to do, we need, first of all, we need to create a DB web service folder. Open that folder in the VS Code, and then open the command prompt, where you can terminal, where you can run some commands, and then run the command npm init dash yes or simple dash y. Okay, it is up to you. Or if you don't want to go with the default values, then you can remove that yes part, or that flag dash y or dash yes, and you just run the npm init, and then it will start asking you, give me the name of the project, give me a description, which will be the main file, and so on. So you can do that. Okay, and then next thing is that you need to install two different libraries. The first one is the Express to implement the HTTP request handlers and create a web server. And then we also have the MySQL2. MySQL2 is actually the package or the library which help us to communicate with the MySQL server. Okay, and then of course we also need to install the node-mon development dependencies. Okay, then I also have given the link for the documentation of the MySQL package. Okay, this is also given here. And the next thing is, of course, we need to change that dev dependency, that script part, so that we can run our main file or the code file using the node-mon utility, and that will help us to restart our server whenever we are making some changes and saving inside our web server application. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to open XAMPP, and then we open the SQL admin, then select the Node.js database. If it is not there, we need to create it. And then this file is already available inside the LMS, and then you can download that, and then you can import that specific file inside that database. So once we have done that, we imported, when we selected them, this is the structure of our the students table. It has the ID value, which is auto generated, auto incremented. It also has the name of the student, gender of the student, which has the specific value, of course, male or female. Then we have a semester. On the semester, I put some restrictions on it, so that it cannot accept value 0 or less, or negative value, and it also cannot accept value more than 8. And then we also have major. We also have three majors: CS, IS, and the SC, which you cannot give anything else other than these three values. So this is the structure of the table, and then we can, of course, start. So first of all, let me what I need to start the XAMPP. And once I start the XAMPP, so we can click on the starting these services. Once these start services has been started, we just need to wait so that it does not stop by itself. It's all done. Then we click on the admin button. When I click on the admin button, is opening up that specific admin panel. And if I just try to refresh it, yeah. So what I need to do, because these are the default ones. So first of all, I need to create a database. I click on the database. Here I say Node.js DB, and then I click on the create button. And as soon as I do that, you can see that it has created that database for me, and it is there. So I just click on that database. When I click on the database, it will open up, but right now it is empty. And then it doesn't have anything inside that database. So I say click on the import. When I click on the import, I need to choose a file. So when I choose that specific file, what I need here, I need to, this file has been added over there. So I will just open up that file and then scroll down and then import that file. So once I have imported that file, and if you look at that inside our Node.jsDB database, then we have a students table inside. and then click on that. It will show you the, I think it has the by default, I mean, I have added that 30 records inside it. Okay, so you can see these records over there. The next thing, what I would say that let's get back to the, what we can say, that started the other part of the part, because now from the database perspective, we have already imported or created that students table. Now I need to start the VS Code and open that specific. So let me file. I want to open a folder, and inside I will shortly show you that on the desktop, IS311, and then we have 1 p.m. class in the week number 9. I just try to create a new, we say DB, uh, okay, DB web service, and then I click on that and open that folder. Right now it is empty, of course, it does not have anything. What I will do, I will just try to copy paste, that script file, the student table SQL file inside this folder in my computer, so that you can see that we can see the what is inside that file. Okay, so I click on the, I paste it over here, control C, and then put it over here. So now you can see that I have this SQL file which we have just imported inside. So when you look into that, first of all, I am creating this table inside that database, and then I am making sure that all the information has been, the constraints has been set, and after that I am adding 30 different student records inside it, and also running some queries on it, so you can look at that when you got time, and then it will give you some recall or refresh your memories about that with SQL. So now the next thing, once we have opened that database or opened this folder inside the VS Code, what I need to do, I need to start a terminal, and inside the terminal, I need to run some commands. So I say npm init and dash y. When you say dash y, let me start with the inner thing, and then it say give me that npm, and okay, it's npm, not nmp, npm init. When I click on that, it said give me, we say s2 student management system. Again, it is a version 1.0.1, and then description. This is the web service to manage students' records, and then entry point. I will say app or my app.js. Do we have a test command? I say no, I don't have a test command. Get repository, press enter. I just continue with that, enter, enter, enter. Yes, we want to do that, and now you can see that it has actually created that file for me. What next thing is I need to do is I need to install those packages. So npm, not nmp, and and then I say I want to install the Express. Then I want to it's SQL2, and when we press enter, it actually install that specific packages, and it will add that dependencies inside our package.json file. So it has added those things. Now I need to npm I and dash capital D, and we say node mon utility. When we do that, actually it will add the dev dependency inside my package.json and also install that dependency for me. So let me clear it. And now what I need to do, our main file is the my app. Of course, I can create a different name of the file here and then update the package.json. So whatever we want to do, we can do that. But let's stick to that one. I say my app.js. Okay. So when I press enter, it will set. So the next thing that what I need to do is to import these files. Okay. So we know to import these libraries that we have installed and create the web server. So let's start to do it. So we say constant express is equal to require, and then we can say that express, and then we also need to require the MySQL. That will be require, and then we have the MySQL2. Again, we save it, and then we need to create the application. We say constant web app is equal to express, and it will do that. So once we have that specific web app created, now we need to create what you can say that we need to create a connection between our application and this computer, this my app web server and our MySQL server. So we need to open that connection or create that connection. For that one, what I need to do, we need to say constant. We say db con db connection, or we can say my db connection, or we say uh, Node.js DB connection. So whatever you want, this is the name of the variable. So I say dbcon, which is a connection. I just selected that name. And then using the MySQL library, we are going to create a connection. And inside that method, we need to give what you can say that a key value pair information. So first of all, what I need to give tell the host information, and then host is equal to localhost. And then the next information I need to what is who is the user of that, who I mean as which user we are connecting with that one. And in the MySQL, when you install the MySQL or server in your computer, it automatically create a root user. Root is something which is a super user which have all the accesses. You can do whatever you want. This is not recommended that we use that user here, but rather than going into that user management system and creating a new user for that specific database, that is a separate what you can say that thing. So you already know from you are familiar with that user management from your database management system course. So right now I'm not going to do into that details, but I will just use the root and the password by default when you are installing it. Either if you are installing the MySQL server, downloading the MySQL, but here in the XAMPP, root user does not have any password. I mean, the password is blank. So the next thing that I want to, first of all, we are telling which computer that is in which that database server is running. Then we are choosing the username and password. And then the last thing is that we need to give the which database we want to connect. So we have created our Node.js DB connection. So once we do that, and now what I need to do, I need to, using that DB connection, we want to test that if this connection is successful or not. I say dbcon dot connect, and then inside the connection, I need to provide a callback function. Callback function means this actually method will try using these information which I have given here. Using these information, it will try to connect with the Node.js database. Then, if when it try to connect, then it will call back. Once it has finished that process, the connection process, then it will call this specific method here. Okay, so here in this method, it could be receive an error if there is an error. I mean, now I'm saying that if this error exists, then what I want to do, I want to console dot log inside this terminal. Okay, this terminal is actually a console for this web application, not the dev console which we see in the browser. Okay, so here I say db error, not what you can say that not connected. And I also put the message here, what exact message is coming from that server. Okay, and then I say I want to throw that error. When I do that, then of course when I throw the error, what this throw error mean, it will create a runtime error and it will stop that server. It is not no more running. Okay, and if there is no error, then I want to show on the console.log, not console.log, and then I want to show a message, db is connected successfully. Okay, so we show this message over there. Now the other thing is, if I want to run, we are creating the connection, then we are running. So for starting our web application, what I need to do, I need to say web app dot listen, and not listen, list. Listen, and then I need to give the port number, and then I can also give I show a message. I say console.log when we are going to console.log. So what we want to do here, I say that server is running on port 3030, and I also say that I want to go to the new line and then print this message there to stop the server. Press Control plus C. So we need to do that. And once it is done, once it has been done, then I can run that program. And we will be running npm inside our console. What is happening? Okay, there is some my keyboard is running out of the it's a rechargeable keyboard. So let me see if I can do that. No, nothing is happening. So let me quickly jump to my actual. So I say, is it? No. So let me quickly, I say npm and run. Where is my, okay, I am here. Okay, what is happening when I do here? It is working my keyboard, but when I come down here, so let me stop that terminal and start that terminal again. And let me save it, start a terminal. Okay, so npm, and then we can say run the command that is def. There is nothing here because we have not changed our what we can say package.json file. Where is the package.json file? So here in the package.json file, I need to change that thing. I say dev, and okay, let me put it over there. I just put another one here. I say it is a dev, and then I can say that we need to say node mon, and then we have a my app.js that we want to run. So even I can have write multiple scripts, deploy or run or something like that. So we can say npm run dev. When I do that, so now it has started that server for me, and now it is giving me an error. It is saying that emitted the event on the connection instance. So actually, when we are trying to connect with this problem, it is actually going into the error. So what is the error? Let me check. It's a not connected and unknown database Node.js BD. Okay, it is not BD, it is DB. Okay, so it should be. I mean, I can show you exactly. So you can see that the database name is Node.js DB, not BD. So we need to make sure that we are writing the same spelling which are inside the database MySQL server. When I do that, and save it, and if you go down there, now you can see that server is running at port number 30. To stop the server, press this, and DB is connected successfully. So now we have successfully connected with our database. Now the next thing that I mean, if you remember correctly, we can using the web app, we can create a get request, and then that get request on the specific URL, and this is going to the method is going to have two different what you get two different parameters, request and response. And using the response object, I want to send some informations, and then here we say uh, welcome to student management system. Okay, let me make it slash h1. I want to send back as a, and then we have h1. So it is sending back a response. So now the server is automatically running. So I don't need to restart my server because of that node mon utility. And now I can just come back here, and now I can send that for the local host for 3000. Now you can see that the server is responding to my request, and then it is sending me back the information. So I can also say web app dot post. I can create a do. Of course, right now we are not going to do anything. We are creating that post request on the root. We have a request and a response object which is going into that method, and I will just try to use the other way, using the function keyword. I will create a function, either two different ways. Either you use the lambda notation like this, or you can use this as a function. So now here I say res dot send back. I want to send that this thing. Okay, I can just copy this part here, and then I can change it. For example, um, this is a response from the post HTTP request on uh, root. Okay, so we have this thing. So once I now the point is I cannot send that request through this one. I cannot. Okay. So for that purpose, we need the we have installed that what you can say that we have installed that Postman. So now we need to open that Postman. Now, first of all, I need to create a new connection. So I click on that plus sign and then I select the collection. And when I select the collection, it asks me to give the name of that collection. Okay. So I can give the name. For example, in we say student uh, web service. When I created that one, so you can see that this web service collection has been created. We want to add a request. So here, I first of all I need to say it is a get dash root, and then here I can just simply say it is a local host colon 3030. Okay, and then we have saved it. So this request, when I send that request, you can see that it is giving me in the HTML form that it is coming back, response is coming back from the server. When I preview it, it will send me that. But now if I just say that I want to create a new request, okay, and then rather than it is a get request, it is a post dash root. Okay, I just give the name, simple name, type of the what we can say that type of the request, and then it is going to the root. So I from the drop down menu I select the post, and then here I can just simply say local host colon 3030. Okay, and then I save it. So when I save it, now if I send that request over there, and again you can, this response is from the post HTTP request on server. When I preview it, it is giving me back the answers. So we cannot send the HTTP request like typing some address inside the URL in the browser, but we can test our request from that Postman, and then we can send different type of requests that whichever we want. So you can see get, post, put, and delete, and the other two are the patch and the head options and so on. So we have three different type of the requests which exist. So now we are all set here. So now let's get back to this what you can say that we have checked tested our database connection. Then we also have created the root process, started our server, and then what we need to do, we can also test that inside the Postman to check that if the Postman is working properly. Then we can run the application. Now the point is that we want to get all the records from our students table which we have created so far, and we want to run that query select static from students. It will read all the records from the students table and then send back the response. Okay, so let go back and implement that thing. So we have implemented, of course, this is, I mean, this post request is not doing adding a new data. It is just showing me a simple message, sending back a response. But that is not what we want normally. So we want to implement another get request, and which what is the URL for that? Slash data slash students. And then I need to have that method which take the request and response objects. And then now I want to do some real work. I want to write a query that is going to be executed on our MySQL Node.js DB database, and it will return me back the records from the students, or if there's an error, then it will return me that error message. So first of all, what I need to do, I need to create that SQL query as a string. So I can just simply say that select a static from student, and then press save. And now using the database connection that we have created here, dbcon, this connection that we have created, using that one, we can run that query on the server. So we say dbcon dot query. This method requires the SQL query that we want to do, right? And then there is also a method which is going to be executed. We call it a callback method, which is going to be executed once this query has been executed on the server. If there is an error, then it also send that error into this method. If there are some results, then it also send some results here. And if we also have some fields here, so we can receive all those information. We can only receive the error and the result. But first thing is error, second thing is results, and the third thing. And you can find all these informations from the documentation of the link which I have given in here when we install that. If I just go back here where we are installing the MySQL, where it's that, I think it's here. So you can see that here I have given the documentation link, and this documentation link is used to know more about the information or the connect method, and then what is this going to return back when it is finished in the callback method. Okay, so we are so based on that, due to that, I know that this is giving me the error results and the fields. And now what I need to do, I need to check if there is an error. I mean, if the error has been returned by that method, then it means that there is something wrong in that. So I say console.log. I want to log some information. So db query error, and then I can also get the exact message that is coming from the server, error dot message. Okay, so we console.log, and then I also try to console.log, and then we also say what are the results. Okay, what are the results there, and then we also the console.log, and then we say fields. Okay, so let me and then I throw that error. When I throw the error, it will create a runtime error, and it will stop my server. So okay, and now if there is no error, okay, if I mean we are out of the if condition now. If there is no error, I want to console.log the fields part, and then using the response object, I want to send the results back to the client. The result is actually the all the records which has been read from the server. It is going to send it back. So now if you look in the command prompt, it is automatically restarted my server when I save the changes. And now I can just go back here, and now I can create what you can say that a new request here, and then I can say get all students. When I do that, this is a get request, yes, and then we say local host colon 3030, and then we say slash data slash students. We make sure that we are writing the same spelling, and then once we have saved that one, I can send that request. And right now it is giving me error. Okay, and what is the error? So let me see in my console, in my command prompt, that what is the error. It is a throw error, and then it's a Node.js DB. Yeah, that student table does not exist. So what is the name of the table here? I make that error deliberately so that you can understand. So if I just go back here we have a student table, not student table. So if I give the wrong spelling here, or the incomplete spelling here, then now if I just make it students, and now if I just go back to my here, and then I send that request, now you can see that it is giving me that the table information. It is a JSON information, then it is sending back all the records. So now let's come back to the that console or the terminal, and then because we have what you can say that we have printed the fields. So if we look at that, this here the fields has been printed, and actually tell me the structure of the table from which we have read the data. So this structure of the table, it has the ID value, name, gender, semester, and the major. So it has this. It is exactly the same structure of our. So fields. Well, I mean, we want to receive the field. If we don't know about the structure of the table, then we need to have that field. Otherwise, we don't need it. Okay, so now of course it will give me an error message. I don't need to do that. The printing in the console. Now I can send this request to the server, and then you can see that it is actually giving me all 30 records from my database table. Okay, so this is we have implemented a simple get request which read all data. Get request to read all the records from the students table. So make sure that you are writing there is no spelling error in the query, and then you are giving the exactly the same name as the students table which exists in our database. So once we have done that, let me go back to the slides, and then of course we can test that. We can also test because it is a GET request. We can test it inside the browser as well. So I can just come down here rather than this one. I can add that slash data slash students, and when you do that, you can see that it is actually sending me back all the responses, all the records which exist in my students table. Okay, so this is done. So we can also test that query thing inside the Postman, and yeah. So okay. So we can also test that in the Postman. So next, that is, I think we are almost at the end of the lecture. Then what I need to do, the next tomorrow, inshallah, we will see that we can add a new record inside our students table. Okay. So how we can do that? This is related to that. So with that, we will continue our discussion tomorrow. So any questions so far? If you have anything, but let me first stop the recording. Thank you very much, and if I hope you like it. If you like it, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.